popo thing is water paper, but this motherfucking Grey Goose, baby.
It's time. Your triple bogey, long shot parlay, full send degenerates at a place to call home. Look no further. It's the D-Gen Podcast.
What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the D-Gen Podcast. I am your host, Wayno Wagyu, alongside my fellow co-host, Mikey. NFL Week 4, player props, picks, parlays, you name it, we got it. We have you covered. Before we get into it, though, let's not forget the sponsor of this podcast, Ballers Life Bets. If you go to their Instagram, their TikTok, you name it, they got it on social media. You're going to find the link for their Discord, Ballers Life Bets Pro. You're going to get access to all their EV plus bets, cappers, community, everything you could ever want and more. Their platform is amazing. Just $1 a day. Actually, Mikey, if I calculate it, if it's $1 a day, so it's actually less than $1 a day to be on their platform, in their Discord, getting all this exclusive content, picks, and more. So go check them out. They have you covered. We have you covered. NFL Week 4. Sipping on some Dos Equis tonight. And I know for everybody watching, you're like psychos drinking out of a bottle right now, but they don't make 6-pack cans of Dos Equis, apparently.
That's hard to believe. I was not in the liquor store. I can't vouch and say for sure. You might have just been being dumb, but hey, we'll start with the bottles. It's fine.
Well, quick story. I briefed you and Jay Fine before, but I'm like, said to the lady, I'm like, hey, you guys got bottle openers? And she's like, oh yeah. And she showed me like this dusty cabinet with like a bunch of wine bottle openers. And I'm like, all right, that's mildly aggressive. And some guy comes out of the woodwork and he was like, hey, I got bottle openers. I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, I got a whole pocket full. He just like whips this keychain out. And I'm like, all right, this guy was destined to be here, destined at this time. And yeah, he's MVP. So we were able to drink these Dos Equis because of...
I have questions. I have two.
Answers.
So did this guy work there, or was this just a guy like in line?
You're just an innocent bystander for ProFlow.
That's wild.
ProFlow. So shout out ProFlow.
That guy's been waiting his whole life for someone to ask him for one of those.
Unofficial sponsor of the podcast today, ProFlow. Other than that, everything else good? How's life? I know you had a minor meltdown today. Wanted to punch you.
Yeah, small work mishap, but we're here. We are still employed, and we're all good. So let's make some picks.
Thursday night football, Mikey. We're here on Thursday, so everyone's going to be getting this pick a little bit late. So we'll touch on it briefly, move on to the juice of the podcast. Dallas on the road in New York against the Giants. Giants currently home dogs at plus 5.5. 45.5 is a total. Giants plus 200 on the money line. A lot of rumblings about, the Giants. This could be the game they, come out of the woodwork and beat the Cowboys after, a big win last week. Dallas comes off a pretty embarrassing loss last week. Almost came back, believe it or not, but too little, too late. Do you have any sort of lean play, prop, anything in this game you like?
Both teams stink. I'm just going to call out and say that. Number one, the Giants did play well last week. We were spot on with them last week. We knew that they were going to cover that spread and bounce back. The Cowboys made a respectable game. The game was actually pretty exciting to watch, but that game was over in the first, the Patriots ain't walking through that door 28-3. Like, that game was over. I commend them for their fight in the end there, but again, that's not really a great team. If I was going to make a pick, which I will be making a pick later, I like some props in this game. I like the Daniel Jones rushing total, going over that. He's always good for like a 20, 25-yard run and then fall flat on his face. And I also like Jake Ferguson over yards and catches. So those are my plays with it tonight.
Yeah, I'm not really going to touch the total or the spread, only because like the Dallas Cowboys could choke in their own fucking dick tonight and totally blow this game. And then on the other hand, they could also put up a 40 spot and totally blow out the Giants. So you're really just like a close your eye special situation here. So I got a couple props that I like. I like Devin Singletary over 2.5 receptions. I like Daniel Jones anytime interception. I think that's like a lockable play at this point. He's I think 12 for 14 in primetime games throwing a pick. And then last but not least, I'm piggybacking off the Jake Ferguson play. Also a little side hustle is a CeeDee Lamb anytime touchdown scorer after last week. Got into it with Dak Little.
Yeah,
I think he's going to demand the ball a little bit more this week, especially in the red zone. We're moving.
One more thing. Sorry. Brandon Aubrey over whatever his field goal total is.
Do you know that Brandon Aubrey?
Dude, he's been getting bombs.
I have the
He's like a top 20
screenshot.
fantasy player this year.
Yeah, he's absolutely.
Shout out Brandon Aubrey making kickers look good. Good job.
He currently has more fantasy points than Stephon Diggs, Jamar Chase, Marvin Harrison Jr., Amon-Ra St. Brown, Bijan Robinson, Devontae Adams, Patrick Mahomes, CJ Stroud, CeeDee Lamb, and Tyreek Hill.
Shout out Brandon Aubrey.
Absolute fantasy.
And that was talking
stud.
kickers. All right, let's get into it.
All right. Sunday, 1 o'clock games. Kicking us off, we got Minnesota on the road against Green Bay. Green Bay currently favored -2.5 at home. 43.5 is a total. They're catching -142 on the money line. Little defensive. The 43.5 seems. Both teams can put up points.
Seems low,
but no, it seems high.
I don't know. Go ahead. Let's hear it. Let's hear why.
Brian Flores has this Minnesota defense looking unfucking real.
Elite.
Shout out last week to when they absolutely locked up and annihilated Houston and CJ Stroud.
Yeah.
Green Bay leads the league in interceptions with 7. This team is a ball hog on the defensive side. Not to mention Sam Darnold is going to be nursing a bad left knee bone bruise. And Minnesota, possible look ahead spot because you got the Jets in London next week. I think that even though this is a big game, a get-up game, a rivalry game, I think that London's in the back of the head somewhere. I think that Green Bay has been living off the Malik Willis thing for as long as they can. I think finally week 3 of having him play catches up to them a little bit, and the offense gets a little stagnant against a very good defense. I like the under of 43.5. If I'm going to pick a side, I guess Green Bay -2.5, just because so many people are on Minnesota. Currently, 81% of the bets on Minnesota.
I
and
love that
78% of the money is also on Minnesota. So give me Green Bay.
Yeah, I love both of those stat lines because I'm with the people. Give me the Vikings +3. Look, I think this comes down to quarterback health for both of these teams. Sam Darnold looks like he is going to play. We'll see how effective he is. He's had a career revival, I think we can say, in the first 3 weeks. We got a little Geno Smith-esque kind of thing going on here. Very happy for him. Like you said, that defense is rocking. It's definitely a top 5 defense in my opinion. And I agree with you. I think Malik Willis, kind of the cat, will be out of the bag finally with him in this new offense in Green Bay. Like the first couple weeks, no teams really watching film on him, preparing for him. But now week 3, this is when teams really start to understand like what his game is at this point in Green Bay and like how to stop him. So yeah, I think it'll probably be a low-scoring game, but I do like the Vikings +3 here. I wouldn't be surprised if the Packers win, but I got to take the points with the Vikings this week.
Fair enough. I mean, you really can't go wrong. Both defenses are just elite.
Yeah, good defenses.
Moving on, we had just mentioned the New York Jets playing in London next week against Minnesota. This week, though, they take on Denver, who's coming off what seemed to be a very improbable win. Crushed my lock last week. I did have Tampa Bay last week. Absolutely kicked me in the nuts. They're on the road taking on the Jets. Jets favored -7.5. 38.5 is the total. Both teams in their own respect crushed both the teams they played last week. Jets annihilated the Patriots. I asked myself, were Jets just a product of looking good because of the team they played? And then I say to myself, was that Denver's Super Bowl beating Tampa Bay, beating a team that, is definitely going to be in playoff contention? Up until last week, you heard me being one of the people jumping on the wagon of Baker Mayfield being MVP, and that just got put to rest. But nevertheless, I have to go with the Jets. I just look at the fact that, this defense, even though they've underperformed a little bit, I think that they are able to check a rookie who might be feeling himself a little bit more. I think that defensively, Denver has been pretty damn good, especially last week. But I think that, I think the ground game for New York Jets takes over here, and I think that they cover this.
Yeah. Last week I was very down on the Broncos and Bo Nix. I think I had like a 5-minute rant about how bad Bo Nix is, how he has a great football name and he's a waste of talent, yada, yada, yada. And boy, did I look stupid. That being said, what happens when you look stupid when you're betting, when you're gambling, when you're betting on, football? You double down. We're going the Jets. The Broncos suck. Bo Nix still sucks. I don't care how good he played last week. He's still got a great football name. It's still a waste of talent. He's not good. He had a good game. He had a little, flash in the pan. Everybody has a little flash in the pan. Remember when people thought Daniel Jones was good? He had a few good games. Like, oh, look at that. Bo Nix, the same thing. The Jets have figured it out. They're rolling. Aaron Rodgers getting back to the kind of Aaron Rodgers that he was before. His foot looks fine. He's moving around the pocket. They got an elite running game, an elite defensive line, an elite secondary. They're, I think, a dark horse to win the AFC East and overtake the Bills, honestly. We'll get to them later. But, yeah, I'm rolling with the Jets and the points here. I think they actually demolish the Broncos this week. And if they don't, boy, oh boy, am I going to look at them.
Believe it or not, 60% of the money is coming in on Denver right now.
Okay.
It's a lot of people, I think, obviously piggybacking off of what they did last week. It's a big spread. Jets have been good, but not great. So I'm fading the public here. I'm fading the money. We're moving on. Pittsburgh on the road against Indy. Indy currently home dogs at plus 1.5. 40 is the total. Pitt won last week against the Chargers. Indy coming off a win in Chicago, so both maybe feeling themselves a little bit. I checked. Pittsburgh currently has the 9th best odds to clinch a playoff spot. Believe it or not, Mikey Rob.
God.
So I say to you, 1, do they cover this line? And 2, are they actually making the playoffs?
The Steelers are the best worst team of all time. Of all time.
We said that last year, too.
Every year. Every year since Big Bad has been gone, they're the best bad team in history. Mike Tomlin should be coach of the year every year, honestly. Have you watched the Steelers game?
Yeah, I have.
It is the most disgusting, boring, cringy, just kind of game you'll ever watch every week, and they win every fucking week.
I feel like I'm watching the Steelers when like Franco Harris and like fucking all those guys.
I feel like I'm getting punched in the face constantly, but then at the end I'm like, holy fuck, I won that fight. Like it's fucking, it's crazy. So that being said, I like them to cover this spread. 1.5. I mean, come on, they're only in close games that they barely win. As far as them making the playoffs, like if they keep up this pace, I mean, their division's not great. I mean, they got obviously some good teams in there, but yeah, I think they could easily make the playoffs. I mean, they're in the first right now. Like this is crazy. Like I think the Steelers win and cover easily.
I'm fading Mikey wrong here.
Okay.
I'm fading him greatly. I think that this is the week they chalk up their first loss. They run into Indy, who, yes, Anthony Richardson leads the league in interceptions with 6.
That dude.
But I mean, God, Oof. Anthony Richardson, you're fucking killing me, my guy. But nevertheless, I don't think he does it with the arm. I think he kills him on the ground. I think that he has a huge day running the ball, whatever his props are running the ball. I personally don't like. I love. I think that the hallmark, trademark, fingerprint, footprint, whatever you want to call it, of this Steelers team is their defense. And what is it on their defense? It's their pass rush. And who's pass rushing? Mr. TJ Watt. I think that for as good of a pass rusher as he is neutralized because Anthony Richardson has the ability to get out of the pocket, run, and make plays with his feet. I think so. Because of that, I think they win. I think I'm taking Indy, fuck the spread, taking the money line at plus 102. I like this upset spot. They're at home. They've kind of been a little bit of a letdown here early on, partially because their defense, their run defense is so bad. But I think they are going against, again, a Pittsburgh Steelers team offensively who isn't the cream of the crop. I think they can stabilize them at a decent amount. So, yeah, give me Indy. We're moving on. Next, Cincinnati. Shout out Joe Burrow. Shout out. He looks like Ellen DeGeneres now. Forget about Joe Burrow.
Dude.
Joe Burrow.
Don't get me going on this.
Forget about Slim Shady. Forget about all these other people that you might look like. You look like Ellen DeGeneres. You're 0-3. You're about to be 0-4 because you are not going to win again against the Carolina Panthers.
The Red Rocket.
Against the Red Rocket. I picked the Red Rocket over your bleach blonde hair 7 days out of 7 days of the week. Give me Carolina. Fuck the spread. Give me the money line at plus 120. I'm piggybacking off my play last week. Everyone's going to say, hey, was it a fluke? Hey, Carolina got their win out of the way, blah, blah, blah. It is not. This team looked good. They did lose Adam Thielen. Kind of scary, but Deontay Johnson looks great. I think that they find other options in the wide receiver court. So, yeah, I just ultimate fade spot here for Cincy. I fucking hate them. Trent Brown is out also for Cincy. Huge loss on the offensive line.
Yeah, big loss. Yeah, we need to start getting a counter going. Bengals have not won a game since Joe Burrow died this year. Just want that on the record. We'll see how long it goes. But, bro, if you have any self-awareness at all, I know you're, an elite NFL quarterback. You played well last week. Your defense just sinks. It's not necessarily your fault, but bro, you got to switch the mojo up, do something. Maybe like shave your head. That might send a message to the locker room like, hey, I'm doing what I can. I need you guys to do as well. Yeah, I think the Panthers. Look, they're not going to be like a playoff team. They're probably like not going to be a good team, but they are so much better than what they were playing with. Like, so much better than they were when they were playing with Bryce Young. I know it sucks for Bryce Young. I feel bad for him. Hopefully he can find a better spot and rejuvenate his career. But they got the Red Rocket in now, a leader, a veteran, someone that knows what to do, has been in these spots before. The offense looked completely different. The defense, I think, fed off of that offensive like explosion, and they felt a little better. I felt like the whole world wasn't on their shoulders. So. Look, I think they're going to be a team to be reckoned with. They're going to, spoil a lot of people's seasons, down the line. All that being said, I'm staying away from the total, the spread here. I'm going with the total over 47. The Bengals defense stinks and is the reason that they're losing these games. I think Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase obviously got it going last week. And Joe Burrow is going to be on like a mission to fucking score 80 points this week because he knows he has to. And for those reasons, I think both this team score points this week, and I think it's a high scoring game. I think over 47 is a lock, honestly.
So last week I had said Andy Dalton over 300 yards. He had 3 touchdowns and all this good stuff. I'm reeled in a little bit. I do think they win, but I really don't think he has that great of a day. I think that he makes some mistakes. I think what actually wins them the game here is I think, again, the Cincinnati Bengals don't have a great defense. I think that they are vulnerable to the run. Chuba Hubbard looked decent last week. I think he has another decent week this week. I think this is going to be a game where the name of the game is ball control. And I think that Carolina controls the ball. I think they ball hog here. We're moving on. Got the Rams taking on Chicago, taking on the Bears. Bears are currently favored -3 at home. 41 is the total. Rams plus 124 on the money line. I mean, the story of the Rams season is 2 things currently. 1, they are injured. Very, very injured.
Very injured.
Very injured. And 2, their defense is bad. Their defense is like bad. They rank in the bottom 5 in all passing stats in terms of yards, completion percentage, touchdowns, all that. Run-wise, run defense-wise, they're not that much better. Chicago, I understand that they've struggled offensively, but Caleb Williams finally showed a little bit of juice last week, maybe a little bit of momentum, a little bit of positive energy to build off of. Did have 2 picks, but the big X factor in this game is if Keenan Allen comes back or not. He's starting to practice again. That's another huge, even if it's just on the field, it's a huge opportunity for DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, Cole Kmet, all these guys to kind of pick it up because they're going to draw that much more attention over to Keenan Allen. And on top of that, as much as I fucking hate DeAndre Swift, and I made that clear, he has been a dud, not a stud.
1.8 yards per rush this year.
Horrendous. I think that this week he actually breaks out a little bit. I think he actually has a decent game. Shout out DFS DraftKings lineups. I think you can get him for really cheap and might have a decent week. So with all that being said, I'm taking Chicago -3, kind of a close your eye special. 76% of the money is on the Rams right now, though. So I do like that.
Okay. Yeah, I'm on the Rams, so I'm, again, suck a bit. I was just really impressed with their game last week against the 49ers. Obviously, the 49ers are dinged up, but the Rams showed an immense amount of fight to come back and win that game. Matthew Stafford has he seems like spry out there, like a spry young lad throwing the rock around.
He looks great. You can't, for as bad as the Rams are and how injured they are, you can't take anything away from Matt Stafford. He looks great.
Yeah, and what do the Rams have going for them? Obviously, their run game is elite, and this defensive front for the Chicago Bears is nothing to write home about. I'm not necessarily terrible, but they're not great. So I think the Rams, kind of like the last game we just talked about, ball control for the Rams this week, and I think that they control the clock and the ball and the pace of the game enough where they can cover the spread. What's the cure to a bad defense is a bad offense, right? And like you said, Caleb Williams kind of showed some flashes last week, but I still don't think that offensive line is put together enough for him to kind of get into a rhythm to really, take advantage of a bad back end. And for all those reasons, I'm going to roll with the Rams +3. I think it's a good play.
Did you happen to see the Rams come back live against San Fran?
Yeah.
Dude, I watched that live as well, and I was like, holy fuck. I was so pissed off myself that I didn't sprinkle live money like I did before on Atlanta to come back and win. I sprinkled money, and I had caught them like +570, whatever. I threw like $10. I was so upset that I didn't do the same thing because like you could sniff it. You know, like
Yeah,
when
you
you
could
like,
feel it. You
can feel it.
Yeah.
You know that like San Fran's just trying to weather the storm, but you know ultimately it's not going to fucking work.
Yeah, dude.
It was awesome to watch. So again, congrats Matt Stafford. You look great this season. And moving on. We have, in my opinion, what might be one of the funnest games of the week. New Orleans taking on Atlanta. Atlanta currently favored -1.5 at home. 42 is a total. New Orleans is plus money at 102 on the money line. Big money coming in on New Orleans right now, Mikey Rom. As a matter of fact, 93% of the bets are on New Orleans to cover this week. And you ask yourself, Vegas, do they ever lose? Absolutely fucking not. Give me Atlanta. Give me Kirk Cousins. I know it's 1 o'clock. Need to pump my brakes. We all know that 1 o'clock Kirk Cousins fucking blows. And I'm probably going to hate myself for taking him in this spot. But I can't help but think that this guy's got a little bit more juice, feeling himself a little bit more after a couple good weeks. I love Kirk Cousins overs this week. I think Atlanta covers. I think they win. I can't imagine both teams, especially coming off a loss, that this wouldn't be anything more than a slugfest. I think that at 42, they're going to blow this out of the water.
Yeah.
Even though I will say Atlanta's second, obviously New Orleans defense looked really good this year. So that's why it's low. And the reason why it's even low is because Atlanta's secondary is really good. They have Jesse Bates looks great. The entire secondary looks great. So that's why it's that low, but I still think they crushed the total here at 42. And yeah, I just think that Atlanta, I think they got it.
So are you taking the total or are you taking the
I'm honestly taking both, but if I was going to lean for one actual pick, I guess I'm taking Atlanta money line. Taking the money line.
All right. I like that. Yeah. I mean, this total makes no sense to me. I know what you just said about the back ends being good for both of these teams. 42 is downright disrespectful. These are two dome teams playing in a dome.
Two dome teams.
Two fucking
playing
dome.
A dome.
Two track teams.
Shout out Doug Dimmadome, owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome.
Yes. Shout out Timmy Turner. Shout out Cosmo Wanda. If you know, you know.
The ones who get it. The ones who don't.
But yeah, this fucking total makes no fucking sense to me. At 42, what is this? The Patriots fucking in the Colts? Like, what are we? These are two good offenses. I know Bijan's a bit banged up. There's maybe some question with his shoulder if he's going to play. I don't care. Tyler Allgeier's elite. Write that down somewhere. Write that.
Tyler Allgeier?
Elite.
That's a very strong.
If you know, you know.
Adjective.
That's all I'll say. Fantasy last year.
Is elite an adjective or a verb or not?
I think it could be multiple things.
All right.
I am elite. That was an elite tackle. You know. Anyway, that's Mike spelling. Mike spelling bee. Yeah, over. This is like a 50-point game. This is like 35-28 right now. I don't understand. Yeah, over. I don't know.
Basically, that total is saying that they don't predict one or the other team to score 20 points.
This total says 21-20. What is that? No.
I just don't see it.
No.
I don't see it in my crystal ball.
Two dome teams playing.
I don't see it in my crystal glass of Dos Equis right here that makes any sense. We're moving on. We got Philadelphia on the road against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay coming off a bad loss against Denver. Philadelphia, on the other hand, a very emotional win against New Orleans. I mean, that took a lot out of them, I think, like just mentally. It was a grind. It was a big week. So, I mean, congrats to them, I guess. But Tampa Bay is currently home dogs at plus 2.5. 45 on the money line. 45 in the total. Plus 114 in the money line. And I can't help but think to myself that this is and I say all the time, buy low, sell high spot. This is a buy low spot on Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
They're giving you plus 2.5. And I know, a lot of people are probably going to jump on this. The line, I don't even know how much it's really moved. I haven't looked at the line movement for this game in particular. But, even with that being said, majority of the money is still coming in on Philly. People are starting to smell the Philly magic. DeVonta Smith, though, he's got a concussion. So we'll see what even comes of that.
That was crazy. Did you see the dude spin on him after? That was crazy.
I didn't know.
Yeah, I don't know who it was. Whatever the defensive end for the Saints was, like hit him, like rolled over him, and you can just see him go.
I feel like something you would have saw.
He's legit dead, like two hands, like fucking on the ground. Like I'm like,
shouldn't laugh.
It's my wide receiver one, and I'm glad he's awake. He walked off the field. He was clapping it up. I think he's gonna be okay. I'm fairly confident he sits out this week, honestly, because they have a bye week next week.
But then you ask yourself, then like offensively, like obviously they got Saquon, Dallas Goedert looked like an absolute. I mean, you see him run. By the way, he runs like a gazelle. Dallas got it.
It's
Runs
a weird
like a
looking
gazelle.
run. I feel like he's like sneaky fast though. Like you see him like
because his legs are
like
fucking
that dude's
stilts.
not fast, and he's just zooming by. Like I don't know.
Yeah, he's got like that wicked, weird gait to his run. Anyways, Tampa Bay plus 2.5. The only thing that makes sense to me. I say to myself, like, is Vegas fucking with me right now? Are you fucking with me, Vegas? And I say, I don't know. I really don't care. I'm taking the money. I'm taking plus 2.5.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, I mean that's the play here. I like you said, huge letdown spot for the Eagles, an emotional win last week. Tampa Bay, maybe a little fraud alert after the game last week. I think maybe there's some rumblings, and this is their opportunity to kind of say, nah, that was just like kind of a anomaly what happened last week.
Last 1 p.m. game in the slate. We got Jacksonville. We got Houston. Houston's at home, currently favored -7. 45 is a total. Jacksonville catching plus 245 on the money line. I mean, Mikey, the Jags secondary sucks. They're the third lowest scoring team in the league. But then I say to myself, all right, you look at what Houston did last week, and I think it was a huge product of what the backfield looked like. Joe Mixon out, Dameon Pierce out, made them very one-dimensional, made them very easy for Minnesota to scheme against, I think. Both guys still don't look like they're probable to play. So in a case like that, as bad as Jacksonville has been, I mean, you really don't have to respect the run too much here still. And if you're just dropping guys in the coverage, at that point, you can make any team look not average, but like not, as good as maybe they normally would look, like as good as Houston would look. I think that 7's a lot of points to be laying, especially after a bad loss. Obviously Jacksonville also got their teeth kicked in by fucking Buffalo.
Jiminy Crickets. That was bad.
I mean, Doug Peterson is coaching for his job this week. If he doesn't cover this line, he's out the door. He doesn't even need to win. He just needs to cover. So with that being said, I'm taking Jacksonville plus 7. I think that everyone and their sister is going to be on Houston. I'm just like all about fading the public this week. It's been a weird 3 weeks to the NFL. I feel like just a lot of dogs are barking. I feel like the same thing happens this week. A lot of people are just going to be smelling like the bounce back spots and all this other stuff for these big teams that have lost. And I just am not. Give me Jacksonville.
Yeah, they're going to call me Mikey Man of the People. I'm with the public. Give me the fucking Texans. Look, the Jags are bad with a capital B. Doug Peterson, you're gone. Like, I know we talked about it a little bit last week about, first coach to get fired, what those odds are. It's got to be like mine. I haven't looked, but it's going to be like -500, Doug Peterson. Like, if they lose badly this week, I agree with you. Like, he's out the door. I think it's time to talk about Trevor Lawrence. I know you're the golden child of the NFL, but
Mac Jones. Is Mac Jones any better?
No, I'm just saying in general, like the Jags are about to be back in QB hell again. Like they thought they had their guy, and he looks bad.
$22 million he's getting paid this year.
Dude, he looks bad. I don't know what else to say. Like this is like, taboo to talk about Trevor Lawrence, like the future of the NFL. No. When you're bad, you're bad. When you can't make the plays, you can't make the plays. We've had a million guys like him. He's giving me Jamarcus Russell vibes, like just bad. All that being said, I believe in CJ Stroud. Honestly, they had a bad game last week, no doubt about it. Like I think that's the anomaly for this Texans team and CJ Stroud. I love their coach and I love their team and they're kind of great. I think they bounced back this week against a really bad Jaguars team that is grasping for air, and I think they cover, and Doug Peterson's gone on Monday, honestly.
I mean, that definitely could be the game script. I could absolutely be so fucking wrong. Luckily, the beautiful thing about this podcast,
one of us will be right.
The beautiful thing about this podcast, everybody, is that we don't punt. We don't say, hey, we're not picking this game. We don't have a play for this game. We say, fuck it. We're saddling up because the DGen podcast. We're a bunch of fucking degenerates, and you are too. And that's what we do. We pick every single game. We don't fucking tuck our dicks in. We fucking say, you know what? We're picking this no matter what. So with that being said, asterisk, bet at your own safety, at your own.
And responsibly.
Yeah, bet responsibly. But with that being said, we pick every game. So if you don't know, now you know. We will be giving our locks, dogs, and teases at the end. But caveat, moving on. Jags +7. I got you're fading the Jags. Houston -7. So like you said, one of us has to be fucking right.
That's his math.
We got the hometown team starting us off with the 4:00 slate. New England on the road against San Fran. San Fran currently double-digit favorites at home. -10.
First one of the year.
First one of the year, yeah. 39.5 is the total. Patriots currently +390 on the money line. Juwan Bentley out for the Patriots. Huge loss here in the middle of the defense for a team that really is hung their head on the run defense. Now they kind of maybe take a step back against a team that's able to run the ball in George Mason. Christian McCaffrey goes to fucking Germany and gets a second opinion. They say he's going to be out for months now.
Out.
If you drafted Christian McCaffrey first overall,
suicide watch
in your fantasy league, I just want to let you know.
Talk to somebody.
We're here for you. I'm here for you, Mikey. I'm here for you. Somebody's here for you because we feel for you. That's fucking horrible. I don't wish that upon my worst
Shout out
enemy.
me for drafting him 1 overall last year. Just saying. Shout out me.
San Fran. I mean, I know double digits. I fucking hate taking.
Oh, I'm taking
double-digit favorites.
I'm taking the points, baby.
But I'm taking -10. I'm taking San Fran -10 only because the Patriots are the second worst in the league in points. They averaged a league worst offensive yards a game. I just can't help but think that San Fran will figure it out offensively. They'll put up points, and they'll slow down the Patriots even more than what they've already looked. So, yeah, I can't believe I'm taking 10, but I'm taking the 10.
Yeah, I have a feeling this is going to get bet up closer to kickoff. We're going to see this might maybe end at like +12 or +13. If it gets to +13, I'll take the Patriots. But where it sits currently, yeah, I'm taking the points. Look, San Fran is coming off that heartbreaking loss. Like they got embarrassed by the Rams, blown lead, against a beat up team in a game that they should have won. San Fran is San Fran. They got a good coaching staff. I have a feeling that this is going to be an ass whooping, honestly, this week against the Patriots. This is the get right game for these 49ers. It's sad to say it's against the hometown team. Can you imagine, like, in middle school, looking at a spread and seeing the Patriots be double-digit underdogs? Unbelievable.
I hate watching, like, the Tom Brady, like, montages. Like, can't wait to tell my kids, like, I used to watch Tom Brady play, like, and I'm just like, oh my God, man, how far have we fell off? Really fucking far.
It's sad. It's sad. Hopefully, by the time we're fucking having kids that are old enough to watch football, they'll be good again, and we'll just deal. But yeah, I'm going to take the 10.5 and take the 49ers. I think that's where it is right now. I'll take that.
We got Washington on the road taking on Arizona. Jaden Daniels looked like a fucking beast last week against Cincy. I mean, the guy went 21 for 23, Mikey. I mean, he looked, whether it's a good defense or a bad defense, I mean, throw him 21 for 23 in the NFL. And then,
some of these throws too are unbelievable.
Oh,
like that throw at the
shoulder
end.
dimes. Yeah, just insane.
Oh my God.
And this week, he's taking on Arizona. Arizona is currently -3.5 at home. 50.5 is the total. Washington catching +142 on the money line. Austin Eckler out though with the concussion. So shout out Brian Robinson. A huge fantasy week in my opinion. A lot of touches, a lot of potential to get in the end zone. Trey McBride also out on the other side of the ball for Arizona. Concussion. I mean, it's no secret again. I feel like it's like a situation where, both secondaries suck. We keep on saying this about some of these really bad teams, but you can't help but ignore that because both teams have moved the ball offensively. And, you see to yourself, 50.5 is a high total, but like, you saw what each team's done respectively in each week now. Like they're getting better and better offensively. They're putting up more points, putting up more yards. They've played decent defenses and they're still performing in 50.5. I mean, I'm taking the over. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm taking the over. I'm taking Arizona. I'm fading them. I'm fading Washington. I think obviously, everyone's going to be riding Washington. They're the talk of the town.
Please tell me the money's on Washington. Please.
58% of the money's on Arizona. Fuck. 58% of the money's on Arizona. I'm taking Arizona -3.5. I just think that even like this is like a they want you to bet the +3.5. They say that's like a juicy line. Everyone.
Who is they?
The public. Vegas wants the public to bet Washington +3.5 because it's more than a field goal. X, Y, and Z. Mm-hmm. But I think Arizona actually might win by a touchdown.
Yeah, I'm on the Commanders. I don't know what else to say. I want to come on the Commanders. Again, shout out us. One of us has to be right. So either way, you're getting the correct pick. You just have to decide who's right. I think Jaden Daniels is really proving to the world right now that he should have been the number one pick. I mean, this is going to be a Caleb Williams slander again, but I got to say it. Caleb Williams goes to the Bears with the elite offense, weapons all around him. Jaden Daniels, people kind of worried about, is he going to survive? We got the running quarterback. He doesn't know how to slide, which shout out to him. He still doesn't. Needs to tighten that up. But he's just proven that if you can make the throws and you can make the right decisions and not make stupid, like you said, 21 for 23. Like, you don't get that kind of day unless you're making good decisions and understanding the defense and what you're seeing in front of you. I am very high on Jaden Daniels. I think he's going to be a great quarterback for the next 10 years. So all that being said, yeah, I'm on the Commanders plus 3.5. I think they're a young team. They're the spunk team this year. They got spunk. They got the chance to kind of upset some people. And 3.5 is a sucker's bet. I agree with you. Vegas definitely wants people to take it, but I think they cover it. I mean, I feel like them losing by a field would be like, okay. But I feel like they could also win outright. So, yeah, I'm rolling with the Commanders this week.
Man, you almost convinced me. But give me the fucking Arizona Cardinals. Fuck yourself. All right, moving on to the next game. And possibly the most juiciest, funnest game of the week. I love this game. This is my Carolina play of last week, this week. KC on the road against the Los Angeles Chargers.
Hell yeah.
At the time of me taking these notes and writing all the lines, blah, 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 +8. It's since shifted to +7.
I got a +7.
The line is moving that direction. Why? Because Kansas City is one of the most fraudulent 3-0 teams in the league this season, in my opinion. They should be 0-3. They should be 0-3. The refs have bailed them out. They've just really, really not looked good. Travis Kelce, we said it last week.
Themselves, yeah.
Every single week so far, the first 3 weeks, Travis Kelce, all of his major props, touchdowns, receptions, receiving yards, all 3 weeks have all gone under. I don't think anything changes this week. I think that Los Angeles, the defense has looked relatively decent. They've looked a little gritty. The secondary could tighten up a little bit. Don't have, looks like Justin Herbert this week, but honestly, Taylor Heineke, I think he's got juice. I kind of like Taylor Heineke.
He's the kind of guy that's got juice for a week.
Exactly.
He's a 1 week juice kind of guy.
Yeah, he's the 1 week juice. Yeah. No Joe Alt, so that does scare me a little bit. They did lose Joe Alt, looks like. But Mikey Rom, I
know where you're going.
Fuck Los Angeles Chargers +8, everybody, because I'm taking the money line. We're taking the Chargers +330 to upset the Kansas City Chiefs this week. You heard it here first. I posted it on the Instagram story about 3 days ago when I first saw this line come out at +8. Guys, get it while it's hot before the line changes even more. This is going to shift, I think, to 6.5 before kickoff. I think everyone's going to continue to pound the Chargers, and rightfully so. And even though, despite the line moving, most of the money is still on Kansas City, people. That's like the red flag. You need to go Chargers. You need to take them +330. It's happening. Cash it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to take the points because I'm a responsible person. For all the reasons you just said, the Chargers have looked like a decent team. They're running the ball really well. J.K. Dobbins, as long as he stays healthy, is a top 10 running back. He's definitely got the talent. We'll see how long he lasts, but until he goes down, they have a great running game. Justin Herbert being out, obviously, is not ideal, but like we kind of just said, Taylor Heineke's got the 1 week juice. You can get it done for a week before teams figuring him out. And I agree. I think the Chiefs have started slow. They have some injuries. Obviously Pacheco out. Some other guys nicked up on the defense. Travis Kelce obviously hasn't played his best. I think it's more of not a product of him being, a super, like fucking out there in the world doing shit, but more that he's getting older. He doesn't have probably the same juice every week that he had when he was younger in his career. I think he has to kind of like pick and choose his spots where he can really exert himself to kind of stay healthy. So all that being said, I'm going to take the points, but the NFL is the NFL. They want the Chiefs to win. We've seen obviously the Chargers are playing both the Chiefs and the refs. Like, there's no question about it. It just is what it is. Everyone has to accept it. We were the beneficiaries of it for a long time with the Patriots, the golden child. So it is what it is. All that being said, I'm going to sprinkle on money on the money line, no question. But I'm going to make my pick +7.
All right. Well, at least we're on the same side.
Yes, for once.
So now if we fuck up, we have no excuse. All right, we're moving on. We got Cleveland taking on Las Vegas. Las Vegas currently favored -1 at home. 37 is the total. -118 on the money line. And Myles Garrett, very concerned. A lot of injuries. Super banged up. Says he's going to play. Jerome Ford says he's going to play. But that doesn't negate the fact that offensively Cleveland has looked like absolute hot fucking dog shit. That offensive line is horrible. They lead the league in sacks. Deshaun Watson's been sacked 16 times so far this season. I don't think it gets any better here against a really good Max Crosby pass rush, but Then I say to myself, oh, Wayno Wagyu, let's check the injury reports. Max Crosby, high ankle sprain. He's going to play.
That's bad.
That's going to slow down the pass rush considerably. I think I like Cleveland here +1. I think that, Las Vegas last week, they got kicked in the teeth, just like I said, against Carolina. I don't think they fully recover. I think that they're really kind of moping around. I think they're kind of feeling sad and sorry for themselves. Antonio Pierce literally came out.
Calling people out.
Saying,
out Jack Jones, you bum.
Yeah. Coming out and saying, hey, fucking whatever. People have like their own agenda. I don't even know exactly what the quote was.
People making business decisions.
They were making business decisions. Yeah. Give me the fucking Cleveland Browns, motherfucker. What do you got?
Yeah, this is the close your eye special for me this week. This is like the shrug your shoulders. I'm not going to watch this shit game of the week. I'm going to go with the Browns. Fuck, I'm with you. I really have a feel both these teams are dumpster fires. If you willingly watch this game, you have something wrong with you.
I'm going to watch this game.
Even if you're a Browns or a Raiders fan, there's something quite wrong with you if you watch. This is the type of game when red zone's on that they don't cut to like more than once. You forget that this game is on. And then at the end, they're like, "Oh, by the way, the Browns won." This is the type of game that is. All that being said, yeah, I'll take the points of the Browns. Who the fuck knows? I don't know.
We got Buffalo on the road against Baltimore. Probably the
game of the week,
biggest game of the week. Yeah, I mean, in terms of Sunday Night Football, all the juice around it. Baltimore coming off a big win, trying to resurrect the beginning of their season here a little bit. Buffalo been red hot. 3-0. Josh Allen coming out saying, hey, the good thing about this team essentially is that we don't have anybody that cares about stats. We're all just trying to win.
Shots fired at
Stephon Diggs. Yikes. I mean, Stephon Diggs is somewhere punching air saying, fuck Josh Allen. Nevertheless, though, Baltimore is favored -2.5 at home. 46.5 is the total. Buffalo +110 on the money line. Baltimore, I mean, you can't say it's a look-at spot because it's a big week, but they do have Cincy next week, divisional game. Obviously, Cincy has been a shell of themselves, so I don't know how important that really is going to feel for Baltimore. Not exactly a big threat, but with all that being considered, I fucking hate Lamar Jackson, Mikey. You know this.
We know.
Everyone knows this.
Everybody knows.
Everyone knows I fucking hate Lamar Jackson. He's on my fantasy team somehow this season. I don't know why or how I decided to draft him. I fucking blacked out and I drafted him. But nevertheless, I think that this is the week that Buffalo, just like KC, gets caught up a little bit. I think that Buffalo, again, is feeling themselves. This Baltimore team shouldn't be as bad as they've been.
No, they're good.
They shouldn't, and eventually they're going to find themselves. Yep. And I think that this week against a really tough AFC opponent, I think they do. I think that they buckle down. They figure it out a little bit more defensively. They had that huge lapse at the end of the game against Dallas, and I think everybody was holding their fucking breath. I know I was. I was like, holy shit, I cannot believe they're about to blow this game. Luckily, they didn't. Derrick Henry looked great. Don't know if he's going to have a similar performance this week. He was playing one of the worst run defenses in the league last week. But, yeah, give me Baltimore -2.5.
Yeah, I think the Rams will win this game. This is the thread you needle game of the week for me.
Yeah.
Because
I agree. Honestly, I feel more comfortable. -130 is not even that bad of a line for money line.
If you're going to take the Ravens, I'd take a money line. I'm going to take the Bills +2.5. I might buy this at 3.5, honestly. I know it's a sucker play to buy the point, but I really feel like this is going to be, like we said at the top of this game, the game of the week. It's going to be a close game, back and forth. It's going to be drama. There's going to be highs. There's going to be lows. I think this is like a 1 or 2 point game, like a field goal wins it kind of game. And for that reason, I'm going to take the points. The Bills have been a buzzsaw. Let's be honest. They look rejuvenated. Maybe Stephon Diggs was the problem. I don't know who wants to say it, but maybe he was for that offense. He's found himself in Houston and seems happy there, which is great. I'm happy for him. Sometimes you just need to change the scenery, obviously. But yeah, I want to take the Bills and the points here. I wouldn't be surprised if the Ravens won this game. This is going to be a really good game to watch. I'm excited.
So before we move on to the Monday Night Football games, I will say we mentioned how close this game is going to be. We mentioned maybe a field goal game. I'm going to be insanely uber pissed if it comes down to Justin Tucker missing another fucking field goal. Have you watched him kick lately? The guy, this Hall of Famer, best kicker in the history of the NFL, and he looks bad, Mikey. Justin Tucker looks bad. I had him for a couple of player props and some different player prop lineups, Better, Sleeper, all these other little daily fantasy player prop apps, and
you got crushed
because he couldn't hit a field goal.
I don't know what's going on.
He's missing an
Like
insane
40
amount of field
like 40
goals.
yarders.
And I say to myself, I'm like, oh, great. You know, I just made this pick, Baltimore money line. But then I'm like, okay, well, like the field goal game is actually like a real concern for Baltimore. And if it comes down to it, I don't know if I feel 100% comfortable leaning on Justin Tucker to make that kick. Not going to change my pick because I don't do that. But beware. Buyers beware to the Baltimore Ravens and Justin Tucker this week. Moving on, we got 2 Monday Night Football games again, back-to-back weeks with 2 games on Monday night. Mikey, Tennessee is the first game taking on Miami. Miami's at home, -1 on the spread. 36.5 is a total. Titans, I mean, I don't know what to think of them.
Will Levis.
I don't know what to think of them. Have you seen the Will Levis Hellman's mayonnaise commercial? I just said mayonnaise, so we're mayonnaise commercial yet. It's very awkward.
I can't believe he's in a commercial.
I can't believe
Shout
he's in
out
a
Hellman
commercial.
mayonnaise. I
Yeah,
don't know.
that's a bold-
Weird person to pick for your spokesperson, but hey.
Well, because he puts mayo in his coffee. You didn't know that? Will Levis puts mayo in his coffee. That's his creamer.
Stop. Hold on. Are you fucking with me?
That's why Jay Fine, am I right? He disclaimer for anybody watching the podcast that didn't know. Will Levis uses mayonnaise,
You know what?
mayo,
Everything
Hellman's
makes-
mayo
it
as his
honestly-
coffee creamer.
Everything makes sense now to me.
That's why he's
Everything
sponsored by
makes sense.
Hellman's mayo.
Oh my God. I wish I knew that 3 weeks ago. It all makes sense now. All his fucking things he's been, everything that's going on with the Titans this year, I can't believe I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think he might have also like ate some lead paint chips as a kid. Potentially.
Is it bad? I want to kind of try it now.
I'll
let you guys know.
urge you not to.
I'll let you guys
I urge
know
you
how it
not
goes.
to.
All right, anyway, continue.
I'm taking Miami this week, -1. I know that's, probably not the smartest play. They've been the lowest scoring team, Mikey, so far this year in the NFL.
Yep.
And that's with 2 in the first 2 weeks. Still not really performing. They haven't really looked great, but I kind of like Tyler Huntley. He's going to, sounds like, start this week. I think he's got a lot of juice. I've always thought that when he played, filling in for Lamar for Baltimore, he's really performed.
Played pretty well.
Maybe not like, a rocket arm, not going to lay up the field, but like his legs are serious. Like he can move, he can make plays with his legs. He has enough talent around him where maybe he didn't have it in Baltimore, in the wide receiver core, where maybe he does have a decent day throwing the ball. I got to lean Miami -1 here. I have to. I trust Tyler Huntley. I do.
Yeah. Yeah, if I was gonna lean on a team spread wise, I'd go with the Dolphins. Especially after that mayonnaise comment, I'm still trying to recover from that. I'm a bit frazzled. I got a lot of questions. Decaf, no decaf. What kind of mayonnaise? I got a question. Light mayonnaise, heavy mayonnaise. Anyway.
Is it Miracle Whip? Does that count?
Next week I'll have a full review on all things coffee and mayonnaise. I'm like gonna be like hyper. Anyway, 36.5. I'm going over. I think there's going to be points in this game when nobody thinks there is going to be. Lowest total of the week. I like Tyler Huntley to move the ball, like you said. I think he's got obviously talent on the outside more than he's had in Baltimore for sure. And I think the Titans offense, as weird as Will Levis has played, they have moved the ball in between the 20s. So they just kind of need to start capitalizing on some of those red zone trips. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the over 36.5. I mean, it's a super low total.
Don't like it, love it. Moving on, last game of the slate, Mikey. Second Monday Night Football game. Seattle on the road. Against Detroit. Detroit currently favored -3.5 at home. 47 is a total. Seattle catching +150 on the money line. And Geno Smith has looked good. But I think this is the week that Geno Smith has the Geno Smith I'm melting game. And it's just a horrible, horrible shit show for him. I think that Aiden Hutchinson gets the best of him. I think he makes his day a fucking living hell. I think that Detroit absolutely blows the fucking doors off Seattle this week. Seattle's obviously looked really good defensively. Jared Goff at times has looked very concerning this week, but I think this week Detroit gets back to that high-powered offense you saw from last year. I think this is the spot where they really put the foot on the gas and they figure it out. And I think at home, Monday Night Football, prime time, they're going to be juiced up. And I think that it's going to be a fucking blowout. I honestly might even take an alternate line and push it up to like 7. I might take the -7. I might take an alternate line. So confident I am in Detroit this week. Give me Detroit -3.5 all day, every day. Love it.
Yeah, I was confident in my Detroit pick, but I'm a little nervous with how confident you are. I honestly thought you were going to take the Seahawks. I'm sticking with Detroit. Fuck it. I mean, they're like
don't be scared. Don't be scared.
Dan Campbell has quickly turned into one of my favorite coaches. I
one of my favorite people.
Just a football guy. I mean, I know that term gets thrown around a lot these days, but if there is somebody that embodies it right now, he is that. The hook and ladder in the middle of the game. Why aren't more teams doing that? Like,
that's a fucking nice play if you can execute it.
If you can figure out an offense where you can lateral, like on a consistent basis, and be confident that you're going to actually like connect with the laterals, like I feel like that changes football like forever.
I actually have a hot take for you.
All right,
regarding this Detroit team, and shout out to Ronnie Brown of the Miami Dolphins back in the day, breaking out the Wildcat against the New England Patriots. The Wildcat since is kind of faded. It's no longer a thing. But I feel like if there was ever a team to bring it back, it should be the Detroit Lions.
So who's running it, though? Jahmyr Gibbs?
Yeah, absolutely. Jahmyr Gibbs is a speed option. Oh, actually, no, take that back. It would be Montgomery taking the ball. He has the option to run the ball through the tackles or lateral pitch to Jahmyr Gibbs with the speed. And I think that both running backs clearly are really, really good. I think this team is like the prototypical perfect cookie cutter team to run the Wildcat, in my opinion. Shout out Dan Campbell if you need to hire me. I'm free most Sundays, sort of, kind of.
I'm about to be free all the time. So just
well, yeah. So that's my take. That's the initial part of the podcast. Now we're getting into locks, dogs, teas, bonus lock. Mikey, your first lock of the week. Who do you got?
Yeah, going back to the 1 o'clock slate, I am locking up the Bengals and Panthers over 47. Like I said, I think it's going to be a shootout. Really like this number. I think this is 35-28 written all over, and that's an easy cover. So, yeah, over 47 Bengals.
So, just FYI, my picks that I made this week on a Dos Equis 6-pack.
Love that.
There's no chance these don't hit this week.
Okay.
There's no chance.
All right.
My first lock, Baltimore money line.
Okay. I like that.
Kind of a greasy, sweaty lock, but nevertheless,
but it's going to feel so good
it's
when
a fucking
hits.
lock, and it's going to feel good. It's going to feel better than cooming. It's going to feel better than coming. It's going to feel better than a good old-fashioned bust a nut. Give me Baltimore money line. Who's barking this week? Who do we got for dogs?
Yeah, probably a bit chalky, but Vikings. I think they have a shot to win outright. I think they're a sneaky Super Bowl team, honestly, if they can stay healthy.
It's a take.
Imagine Sam Darnold in the Super Bowl. That would be crazy. Shout out the Jets for just trying to ruin that dude's career. And now he's good. So, yeah, I'm going to go Vikings +3. Or money line.
I got two dogs. Two dogs this week.
Okay.
I got to piggyback off the Carolina Panthers from last week. Taking the Carolina Panthers as my first dog. But the actual real dog, like the alpha male pit bull dog in the pen, ready to fuck shit up. It's no secret. I said it earlier in the podcast. We're taking the Los Angeles Chargers money line to absolutely ruin Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift's fucking weekend, to do whatever it is they need to do to bring this Kansas City team back down to earth. I don't like it. I love it. Plus 330 money line. Sounds so fucking good off the lips. Give me the Chargers. That's my dog. Bonus lock time. Who do you got?
Jets -7.5.
Jets -7.5.
Yeah, I think they blow the doors off. I really do.
I like it. I don't like it. I love it.
All right.
My bonus lock, I'm taking Detroit money line. I think it's no secret how confident I was in Detroit this week. I think that this is the week they really put the league back on notice. I think that they show up and show out. I think that Jared Goff, my opinion, if you can take him for over 2.5 touchdowns, I think.
Okay.
Or three plus touchdowns throwing the ball. I think that it's more of an aerial attack this week. Gets Amon-Ra and Laporta more involved. Teaser. I don't have a teaser written down, so I'm going to let you go first because I got to, unless you don't have one.
Bills +7 and Chargers +10.
All right. I don't really know what the odds are going to be for this, but we're just going to absolutely rip the tits off this one. We're going to take Indy +4.5. We're going to take Carolina +8.5. We're going to take Atlanta +3.5. And then rounding it out, let's get a 4 o'clock game mix in there so everyone can be a part of it. We'll take the Los Angeles Chargers, just in case I'm completely fucking wrong, at +10.5. I don't think they lose by any more than that. So
love it.
That's the tease. That's the podcast. That's week 4 here. Any final thoughts, concerns? How do you like your Dos Equis in a bottle?
I'm happy with the pick. I was a little nervous about the bottle, but it ended up tasting pretty good. Shout out Dos Equis.
Shout out Dos Equis. I think that should be a new thing here on the podcast. Every week we drink a new beer.
Shout out that bottle opener guy too.
Yeah, shout out the unofficial Pro Flow sponsorship today.
Yeah.
But the main sponsor of this podcast, let's not forget, Ball is Life Bets. Go to Ball is Life Bets on Instagram, TikTok. Follow their Discord. Sign up for their Discord. They have a free section also, just in case you guys are cheap ass motherfuckers and don't want to spend $1 a day to get every plus EV bet possible. Cappers, you name it, they got it. They have you covered for the entire season, not just in the NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB, all year round. Check them out. They get you covered. We get you covered. We're going to win this week, Mikey. I think that last week, it was a tough week for everybody in the NFL, but I think that this week we bounced back.
I think so too. I love the board this week. I hated it last week. So
famous
everybody knows that's the kiss of death. Everybody knows whenever Mikey Romp says that, great things happen. So yeah.
Wait, before we go, actually, I want a celeb shot. Jay Fine.
Pick.
Anything outright?
Anything.
Lock outright.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. Give me a quick look here.
I think. By
the way, Jay
it's got to be
Fine.
a spread. You got to give us a spread pick.
Jay Fine is, I think, 8-1 on his picks.
Jay Fine?
Yes.
Jay Fine is fine. Jay Fine is fine.
So
All right, well, at the risk of ruining that, let's take
celeb
he's
shot.
thinking. He's thinking.
He's cooking. He's in the lab right now.
He's scrolling. He's thinking.
let's take I'm gonna take the Buccaneers.
Oh, hell
Let's
yeah.
go.
All right,
Buccaneers
all right.
-2.
Shout out Buccaneers.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm
Plus two.
Oh,
plus two.
Plus two.
Buccaneers +2. Jay Fine celeb shot. That's the podcast. Catch you guys next week. NFL Week 5. We're out.
Peace.
Goose, baby.
It's time. Your triple bogey, long shot parlay, full send degenerates at a place to call home. Look no further. It's the DJ